Okay, I'm gonna try. It's so awkward. Oh my god. My whole family is sleeping in a tent right there, and I turned all the sounds off to do this reading for you. It's gonna be weird for them. It's fine. It's like almost midnight and they're sleeping. Anyways, this reading's crazy. It's awesome, but I assume going through some stuff. Maybe this will help. Yes. Okay. Let's hopefully, it's gonna be great. Okay. So, this is the new deck that you got for me, and it is the most literal deck I've ever worked with. I get why people use this first. I get why people think upside down matters, because for here it does. It was kind of fun because, I'm used to laying two decks at the same time, and so it felt kind of weird to me to only lay like a single card. But this deck was very happy to oblige me with way more cards. So we got doubles and even a triple later in the reading. Lots of, I understand upside down now in a way that I didn't before. So anyway, hopefully this is amazing. Also, in this style, they use what's called a significator for this lay, which is a Celtic cross. And I think that's really cool. So I'm going to go into those after we talk about these two babies. Okay, so I think this is you and Devin. The Page of Wands is the guy who's going to show up to work, who knows what's important, and who's going to kind of, he's like the prince of work. And then this is the Magician. So, and we'll refer to this a couple of times because new cards, new book, and this one's kind of neat. So I'm sorry if this reading drags on. This book is full of history, which is amazing for being so tiny. I do want to read the Magician though. This is a weird book. Okay, we're going to take the skill out of that. Do you see this skill here? Skill. That's all that matters. The first word. What this seems to be about, as far as I can tell, and I'm not trying to put any of my own opinions on it, but it seems like there's some kind of a mix of business and marriage being talked about in this whole thing, and I think that the answers are the same for both, and that's why they're happening like this. But I think that the amount of mixing, however that's going with you, I think this is starting to be part of what needs to get figured out. So hopefully that's what's happening. And what it seems to be like is that a lot of this is really about letting the bad parts feel better, right? I'm going to show you this here. So this is the Seven of Swords and the Eight of Cups, okay? And you can see here, this guy is leaving, not happily. Right? It wasn't nice for him to be here, so he's leaving and he's sad about that, okay? And this guy's presumably making off like a bandit, stealing these swords. And looking back, but he didn't get everything he came for, okay? But these both presented upside down, which, as I explained to you with this deck, really matters. And so I want to show you what I That's okay. So the Eight of Cups on its own is going to talk about leaving. And you see here the element of marriage and the element of business already kind of starting. Okay, so it kind of seems like like he's thinking about walking away. Okay, but then reversed this card. Great joy, happiness, and feasting. But this is the point, is that, and this is where it starts to talk into that concept of marriage, and that's just the feasting, right? You're not terrified of loneliness, right? But you're gonna double negative it to make it good, right? I'm not walking away means I'm gonna stay. We're gonna have a nice, amazing dinner. Okay, and then same with the swords. So much harder one-handed. Okay, and so this is here. If this is happening, it's okay, especially about work, okay, and the wedding. Because same here, we're arguing, but really, it's good. We're teaching each other things, right? Hang on, I gotta pause. Okay, so these are our significators. And this is why I think it could be a little bit about the wedding, or it could be a little bit about work, or both, and it doesn't matter. It's the same either way. If it's not about any of those things, then I'm trying to be more ambiguous as I go through, but, this is about like having this all go on, and it feels like you're robbing the bank, stealing everything except a little bit you've left behind, and you're making out like a bandit, and you're enjoying the cups, but only so that you don't not enjoy them, right? It's just like it's confusing to even talk about, but it's like you can see how there could be bad feelings, but there could be bad feelings. Those are geese, but you're flipping that around. You're making that be okay. You're finding the path for that to be good, and that is a good thing. We want to be doing that because this is this is what's covering that, right? This is the potential. It could be everything, right? Everything that was built, everything that could be, all the power, all the money, all the status, all the whatever, it could all be gone, right? This can happen anytime. This is what sits over us all. But same with the business and same with the marriage. If that's the decision that gets made, let's just burn it to the ground, which is always an option, right? This is an out, however terrifying. It can all get burned down and rebuilt, right? This feels terrifying, but as someone who just lost everything they've ever owned in their entire life ever, right? It's not always the worst possible outcome, which is really scary. And this I thought was very interesting, very interesting. So this is like what obstacles there is. And again, these are like this, sorry, on the assumption that this is about both. This was right side up. This guy was upside down. That must be how that went. I know this one was right side up. So this Eight of Wands is talking, well, wands are work anyway. So as soon as I saw these two cards, I was like, oh my God. Of course, the solution is so much work. But it's good, right? These wands are like flying through space magically on their own, so fast that, and I know we've been talking about this a few times about how fast things don't happen until they all of a sudden do. It's all about that, right? That it's magical that those wands are even flying through the air in the first place, and secondly, that once they are doing that, they can do it very quickly. And same with love. Right? And then the 7, so there's our young man. And you can see he's kind of like it's kind of a showdown, he's like facing off here and defending something, right? So this made me wonder. I know sometimes when there's quarreling, there starts to be a bit of a ganging up effect that can happen. And I wonder if that wasn't part of what was happening. It seemed to, if you look, he's got one rod of protection and 6 coming at him, right? And so, this talks a little bit about things being confusing or embarrassing or anxiety causing. And I feel like that's how these can feel, right? That there's all these anxieties attacking you, and there you are with your one stick to try and protect and defend what you've built, what you've created, what you call your own, and at that boundary line. Yeah, so that's kind of, I think, how it feels. It's like you have this magic, you need this magic, but there's 6 arguments coming against you every time you try and make a single move forward. That can just as easily be happening in your own mind. Okay, now this is where we start to get more excited about how things could be, right? This card is what is above you, what is the highest potential, right? This is a good place to end up. This cuts through all the bullshit. There's no more getting attacked and beaten with sticks, because you have a sword now and you're the king. So nobody's gonna beat you with their sticks. But you had to get there, right? You had to make the decisions. You had to believe in the potential. You had to face down 6 against 1 odds to get to here, if you can get to here, right? But if you can get to here, this is what that feels like. It's fine. Everything feels good, strong, solid, possible, foundationally capable. Now this is kind of nice too. This is like as far down as it can go, and I really love this. This is the fundamentals, right? This is a monk in a monastery carving these 3 pentacles into the stone. That no matter what, and this is true for your relationship just as much as the business, there's always the work. You can always just do the work, right? If everything falls apart and nothing works out, and this is so far away that you can't sit on your ass and tell people what to do, because you have to just do the work. And this is how we figure out what works and what feels good and what looks right and what makes the experience or whatever, right? This is, a marriage is made on this foundational work of building these stone structures. A business is made on the foundational work of building these service structures, right? And making them beautiful and making them capable of longevity. Easy. And so this is really nice. This is very comforting to me to see this card here. And I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? Right? Whatever you're thinking, wherever you're at, the worst that can happen is you just go back to doing the work. It's awesome. Okay, now, what is behind, again, so many upside down cards? Okay, so now we have the Six of Swords, and you can see there's this guy rowing these people across, and then, I love this, this is, just when we remember that these cards are hilarious, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that before. They're very funny cards. Also, I got a new puppy and he heard me talking. Psst. Shh. It's all right, bud. Go to bed. Psst. No. Calm. Okay, so here's our ferryman. Upside down. Okay, so we have what happened. You got a proposal of love. Okay, check this out. This is so funny. And I mean, maybe starting the gym wasn't different than that. At the very least, it was an act of love and service. I got you going. Okay, you're right. Remember how we only have to read one word? So funny. Okay, and so same with this is like, okay, so here's your proposal of love and then marriage, right? And here's what you've come through and what you're doing about it and all the chaos and all the figuring it out and all the terrified that the tower's gonna burn down. And then we look forward and look at this. Okay, so first of all, look at these beautiful ladies with their cups, okay? And then we've got the Two of Wands there. So if we go, Two of Wands probably closer. Okay, now this is a weird one for warning because I got all excited. I was like, oh, he's got the whole world in his hands. That's something to look forward to. So, and this is what I wondered. I don't know what's going on, where the challenges are. This is where it starts to, and it keeps talking about it as we go. You know, you can see we're kind of been talking about the business, but really that means money, right? And this is somehow some balance of money and love thing going on as we move through the rest of the reading. So this is where we first start to see it, where this guy is looking at everything he has and accounting for it all. And then our Three of Cups. So, if we take this at face up value, right, they're rejoicing, it's wonderful and beautiful. When we flip it around, we don't lose that, it just loses its shine a little. It's just like, it still happened, it still worked out, we still got to here. It didn't feel quite like this. In fact, it felt specifically not like this, but it still worked out in the end. Okay, now here's what's cool. And this money thing is fairly prevalent through the rest of the reading, so it's funny that this is where we start. So the Six of Pentacles, this is like your attitude, right? You see here there's this rich guy gifting alms to the poor. Wonderful, right? This is kind of how you feel. And I don't mean like, oh, here, poor person, take my money. I mean like, I have resources that I can use to make your life feel better, and I'm going to use my resources to do that. Right? That's how this card says you feel. I don't say you feel like that. This card says you feel like that. Which is wonderful. There's a little whole Robin Hood thing going on here. I love that. Then we have 3 cards. And this is kind of what's around you, right? And they're all upside down and very interesting. This is one I really was excited to show you. So wands are considered the best. Pentacles are the least, okay? And that's really in terms of what matters. If pentacles are money, money matters least. If wand is everything that matters, then that's what work is. Okay? So in the way that these cards kind of get felt about, wands mean work, but work means everything. We work to support the ones that we love, and our work is what drives us and gets us out of bed in the morning. So you can see here this hand of God is reaching out and holding everything, and that's how everything gets started. Now, this being upside down, wands are always first. Okay, so reversed. This is kind of the energy around you, okay? So this is our 8th card. It's like stuff that's going on around you. And so this Ace of Wands is kind of talking about, like, you should be more joyous. It should feel more awesome, but something's not quite. Could be the beginning. You can feel the everything that's there, but it's a little upside downy. Okay, and a lot of that's just because you gotta make choices that don't make sense yet. I guess probably. I assume you would make the choice if you knew what choices to make, even if they're difficult, you know. But and if that's not what's happening, if you do need to make that decision, I totally get that. I don't know what it is. Right? Here's our 5 of Pentacles reversed. See, like it's money and love. Right? And this is like what's around. It's like all this chaos. And that might just be mental, right? That there's just like you're worried about this, or it feels like that's what's gonna happen, or that's what's possible. And so then it's there all the time. That gets really pervasive. That feels really constant. And that's tough. Okay? And then here's our Emperor. Usually perfect, gotten everything sorted. But here's what's amazing, is you flip him upside down, and it gets so nice. Right? Benevolence, compassion, credit. So this is, I assume this is your dad again. Here's the money kind of just always being there. Here's the potential of the everything that you, it's like you feel like you could just reach out and grab it. and have that everything in your hand, but it's upside down, right? You could, not that you are, that you could, and that's what doesn't feel right. You know, there's all this potential, all this abundance, all this, you know, these resources, and they're there. They're compassionately available. But that feels hard, right? You feel this, but this isn't flipping this card upside down. This confidence and this awareness of resources, this benevolent place to start from, isn't making this possible. Okay. Right, your hopes and fears. Okay. Here they are. Okay, so cups are love. And I mean, that's obviously money, right? So hopes are money will be our shoes and our coats and our hats and do all the things that we needed to do. And this is our fear of wasting it. And the love that made it, that came with it, that it was given with, you know, this is, the fear is this loss. With the recognition you didn't lose everything, right? It's not all gone, but more than half of it is, you know, that this is a loss. You will create loss. That's the fear. And that this is only the encouragement that says, okay, well, at least you know you're not going to waste it all if you waste it. If, you know, your love or your money, I don't know. But your hopes and your fears. I want to just check in with the Four of Pentacles really quick. Oh, yeah, right? Your hope is that it's your inheritance, your legacy, your gifts, that those are all a constant, a guarantee, right? Your hope is that this money is yours forever. It will always be there. And your worry is that it won't. That you could lose, squander, disinherit, you know, that it will be gone. And the love attached with it. I mean, that might be a little part of what your mom had to deal with. Okay, now this is actually a whole fucking ball of wax that I'm not sure about yet. It's already midnight. You beautiful person, you. This is like the best card in the whole fucking deck. Okay, it's number 0. Okay, if you don't know about the Fool, that's cool, but it's like our child self starting over. It's like fresh foot forward, newest possible start. The Fool is empty of head and full of luck. And he's upside down on the whole top of your reading, which is like the outcome. So much smudge and incense. Oh, where did they even put the Fool? Where's the Fool? Okay, I found him. It's after 21, obviously. Okay, that's a lot. Don't listen to any of that. We've got the Fool in your outcome position because, okay, so here's the 10th card. This is where you need to focus all your intuitive powers, everything you've ever learned, everything you've ever put in your memory banks, and be froosh. Is it upside down? Okay. Okay, well, there's your fool at the top of your reading, upside down. Just no idea. And then here's 3 cards that I forgot about. I think they're all upside down too. Let's just take a look. And we're going to see what these mean, because otherwise I have to do a whole nother Celtic cross with this as the significant or whatever. Which I will do for you, but we'll see what this means. This is 9 of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, and the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, the 9 of Swords. Interesting. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, right. This is Aries 2. Got some Rita Carpenter playing in my head. Interesting. How do I feel about that? The 9 of Swords again. I'm going to ask for some clarifiers. Interesting. This is the 6 of Cups. Interesting. Okay. This person is lamenting all the things. These children are celebrating new things. Let's see, let's go for World in this deck. And the Ace of Swords reversed. Well, I think if it's the business, or maybe it should be both. I mean, it looks like there's some real challenges here. you know, to find the place where the stuff that could be easy to feel victimized by, keep you up at night, stab you in your sleep, that this stuff it has to get this, like Flanders Fields, you know, like the old blood makes the new flowers and then everything grows better because it happened. Whatever that is. Because if you can find the way to make the worst stuff be the best stuff, you've got the whole world in your chariot, ready to go. Money, power, success. Yeah, it feels like a good stopping place, but I am going to get these are these are the cards that you got me so long ago. They've been cleansing in the sun in my dome, where I'm sitting now. I'm going to open these other two decks that you got, and I'll pull some cards of those for you. I can see how this would be a really easy read to feel a little bit victimized by, especially if some of the things that have been going on in your life feel like the cards are talking about them, right? The quarreling, the anxieties, the staying up at night, the getting attacked by 6 rods, you know, the lamentations here and there. This is obviously a much less powerful reading than what we had for you last time, but this is a different person, different energy telling you, you know, acknowledging things. And I guess the overall feel that I get from this is that if there are difficult conversations that you need to have, and I know a lot of the anxiety that you'll have about them is not being able to do them properly or calmly or whatever, the way that they hopefully can get done for you and whoever else or whoever's having these conversations, that they need to happen. And I know that that's sometimes the hardest part, is then sitting down and having those real conversations and being really actually really honest and real about, you know, what you're feeling and being accepting of the other person's feelings. None of what I feel like I read today feels easy. It feels like the future is bringing easy things and they'll come really fast once things can get to that. But getting to that might be, the only word that comes to mind is arduous. There's so much work in this deck, in this reading. There's so much work. There's so many stabby swords everywhere. This feels like a really challenging time. And it doesn't totally feel like I really get to offer you, like, sometimes it's really nice because the cards will give us like lots of little points of encouragement. There's not a lot of little points of encouragement. There's just fully like the whole world at the end of it. There's no, it's all or nothing. And it's worth accepting the concept of nothing, if that's possible. If that's possible. Okay, I love you. I'm gonna read your other cards. Okay, beautiful friend. I just read your shaman cards, and these are very wonderful cards. If your ancestors could reach through cards to give you encouragement, this is what they would say. So let's take a look. So cool. Okay, so these are the cards that I pulled for you. We have the Dancer of Frustration, the Shaman of Courage, and the Dancer of Inspiration. And these are beautiful because I think this is where, if your reading is applicable to what your day-to-day has been like, they know. And it's for a reason. And if you can dance your dance of frustration and let it out and use it for what you need, which is to grasp your shaman of courage. It seems like you're at a bit of a crossroads in more ways than one, like all of them, all at once. And I think that that's tough. Like, that's really tough. If you can have the conversations, you can dance it out, get through it, and accept that whatever you're doing right now is so that you can fix it and do it properly from now on, right? That whatever's not going properly now, that you're not doing the best way you could now, that it's not working out the best way it could now, whatever is happening that sucks is teaching you how to help yourself later, how to speak, how to have the backbone that says, I'm going to say what I need to say, and I'm going to be able to do it in the way that I can be heard and make all the things right, because that's how magic works. Okay? And if you can do that, get that intuitive dance flowing through your body and make it all right, find your courage and speak your truth, then we get the flash of inspiration that makes everything right, that makes it all make sense, that makes it all perfect, that makes it all worth it. This is how I know you're awesome, because these are your fucking readings, Kalyn. I just read your Earthcraft cards, and these cards were not what I was expecting. They are marvelous. I was hoping and asking for steps to use Earthcraft to ground you, what things you could be doing to help ground yourself through this transition. And instead, it gave all the words and insight you probably ever could possibly think to need to hear. So I'm gonna just read from it, and then maybe we'll debrief after that, but maybe that's all you needs. I might tell you a little story, I can't remember. Anyway, here we go. So lots of times we pull 3 because they give us a really good opportunity to have kind of a past, present, and future vibe going on, right? And so that makes sense, right? This is where we're coming from. This is where we get our clarity, and then we make magic. Or turn into magic. I don't know. Water here sounds great to me. So starting in the darkness, okay? Confusion often comes, I'm just going to keep you on here. Confusion often comes from an inability to face how you got where you are. There's so much to process and heal from in the past. Okay, hang on. I need to read this by more light than I have. There's so much to process and heal from in the past that there simply isn't enough space to make room for in the future. Facing your deepest secrets may seem like a terrifying task, but when you're lost in the depths of the shadowy forest, you must clear the thicket of complex emotions and fear that might block light from showing you the way. Darkness has come to you because some of the answers are not ready to present themselves. You may be blocking blessed illumination through patterns of denial or a desire to run away from a situation. It might seem like the easier path to try and outrun your secrets, but you can never truly hide from yourself. Unhealed wounds from your past will slow you down. Do not allow these wounds to cause you to doubt your judgment and sense of direction. You don't have to try and heal all at once. Simply slowing down and acknowledging the hurt isn't often enough to begin a major transformation and see a glimmer of the moon's light peeking through the canopy. Now, this is the story I was going to tell you. I'm going to cry even telling you that this is what it recommends you to do, because this, for me, was one of the most powerful things I ever did, was to look at my own self in the eyes in the mirror. And it's one of the things I've assigned a lot of my clients to do with a smile, to spend time smiling at themselves in the mirror. I'm going to read you what this one says. Self-reflection practice. Oh, it's ironic. Sit in front of a mirror. Use this self-reflection practice to gently face the things you hold in deep, dark spaces within. To bring these lies and hidden emotions forward, you must acknowledge them, confront them, and release them. When the truth is right in front of you, there's no hiding from it. Sit in front of a mirror. Gently gaze into the depths of your eyes, into your own soul, and try not to look away as you allow your reflection to speak to you. Take a deep breath and remain there quietly looking into your own eyes for 10 minutes. If you want, you could ask yourself questions. Allow time after every question to answer honestly and fully. You might begin with a question like, why do I want the things I say I want? Are these desires aligned with me, or is there another reason? Okay. A seer is someone who looks past the surface and beyond the physical world to reveal hidden truths. She relies on intuition, aware that seeing goes beyond what the eyes perceive. You can't explain it immediately, but there is a restlessness in your soul, letting you know that something isn't right. Don't dismiss this feeling. You must look closer to see the truth. The seer card has come to your reading with a warning that someone or something in your life is not all that it seems. There's a deeper truth, for better or for worse, that requires you to consider other avenues of knowing. Divination techniques, from tarot cards to runes to pendulums, as well as spells, rituals, and meditation, are all tools for self-investigation that act as a conduit as you ask for help from your guides and Mother Earth. Also consider how you may be wearing a mask or adopting false beliefs about yourself. Perhaps the seer's message is about you. Remain compassionate and be mindful of judging yourself or others until more is revealed. Before you go to sleep, kneel by your bed. Until more is revealed. Mind's eye opening invocation. Before you go to sleep, kneel by your bed as if to pray and recite this invocation 3 times to open the mind's eye and reveal the truth. Let the eye open wide and the lids upon your face shut tight. There, in the universe that exists within, live the truths you've been searching for. I don't know what your divine inspiration is, but it's here in your present card. Coming out of this, through this, and into that. Which at least looks a lot more restful than whatever the fuck that is. Amazing. Kind of jelly. Okay, here's your mountain. Mountains have stood as symbols of achievement, likely since mankind first set eyes upon them. Many of the world's greatest spiritual leaders have taken pilgrimages to mountaintops to gain perspective on their own lives and what they can offer to the world. It can be a lonely, hazardous journey, but there's so much reward in seeing things from a bird's eye view. When you're above looking down, you notice patterns and connections you couldn't have imagined before. Mountain peaks are the vantage of innovators, leaders, and those who are ready to live life to the fullest. The mountain comes to a reading when you are relying too much on your rational mind. You've lost sight of the bigger picture by obsessing over tiny details. Without a higher purpose, these details will become meaningless and get lost in a sea of confusion and doubt. You're in need of a new perspective to remind you of what really matters and to see your situation from a much higher view. Connect with your intuition and ask yourself, what am I reaching for ultimately? You are ready to ascend to greater heights and take on new challenges. Oh yeah, and okay, so now it's got some instructions for standing in mountain pose or Tadasana. And I'm gonna read it to you, but I'm also gonna tell you how I teach it and how I want you to do it. Mountain pose or Tadasana is a pose to ground the body and elevate the spirit. From this position, you can see things clearly and receive positive energy. On the earth or a mat, stand up straight and tall. Bring your big toes together and your heels slightly apart. Spread your toes to distribute weight evenly on both feet. Tuck in your tailbone, pull in your abdomen, and draw your shoulder blades back and down, making sure to relax. When you're ready, lift your chest slightly as you hold your arms by your sides and spread your fingers, turning your palms forward. Lift your chin so that it's parallel to the floor and gaze forward. Hold this pose for 10 deep breaths, keeping your eyes closed. Clear your mind of any distractions and feel your feet strongly planted in the earth, grounding you and holding you steady so that you can reach out your light to gain new perspectives. It's like a whole other thing I read of this before that I really liked. 93, 94. Oh. Oh yeah. Okay, maybe it's just that. Okay, so the card that comes after this, I read a little bit of, and I actually think you need to still hear. So, now is your chance to gain additional clarity before making a decision. This is like your mountain time is your chance before everything changes to really spend time thinking about it and getting clear on stuff and understanding where you're at. Yeah, love that. I knew I didn't have a closeout for this. I'm super crazy sorry it took so long for me to get back to you. Last week was a gong show. Heat stroke, the whole 9 yards. Everything is fine, and it's all slowly coming together and getting more awesome all the time. I now have time to do tarot readings by candlelight on the floor of my dome. One tarot reading. Yes, Mark and I have exciting anniversary plans. It's our 9th anniversary in 2 weeks. So we've got all kinds of plans and things booked, and we're very excited about that. And if you're up for us staying in your cottage while you're getting married in August, we're totally up for that, and we're figuring out how to make that happen if you're cool. And yeah, life is good. Crazy. But good. Anyways, I love you. I know this was a lot. Let me know whenever you want to talk. I am all ears, and I'm sure the universe will line the time up for it anyway, so I hope you're okay. I love you. Also, thank you for the beautiful cards.